The Lorelei. There is a bend in the River Rhine where the cliffs rise so high that even the sun, in its haste, lingers there a moment longer. The waters run deep, the current swift, and the wind carries with it a sound. A song, they say, soft as a sigh, sharp as sorrow. They call that place the Lorelei Rock, and this is her story. Long ago, before the towns on the Rhine had roads or chimneys, the elders told the children to never stray near the river bend at dusk. They would sit in a circle by the hearth, eyes wide as the old women leaned in close. "She sings still," she would whisper, with a voice that can bend trees and break hearts. The fire would pop and the shadows danced. One child would always ask, "But why does she sing?" The old woman would settle deeper into her shawl. "Because the river remembers what we forget." She spoke of a maiden named Laura. She was not noble, nor rich, nor anything but beautiful, and beauty in those days was a dangerous sort of magic. Her hair was gold as summer wheat, her eyes dark as the riverbed, and her voice, it was said, could still a storm. She lived alone in a cottage between cliff and current, where reeds grew tall and herons called. Her days were quiet, rising before dawn to collect herbs, watching fog rise off the water, tending to her hound and singing to the wind. Laura spoke little, but when she did, her voice seemed to shimmer like the river's skin. The villagers offered bread, fish, and flowers left by her gate. They feared her, adored her, resented her. Children were warned not to stare. Wives watched their husbands with narrowed eyes. Men came from leagues away to see her. Some offered coin, others song. A few offered promises. Laura, however, gave nothing in return. She listened, she smiled, but she belonged to no one. The stories began. One man claimed she whispered his name in his dreams. Another swore he saw her walk across the river. A third said his brother vanished after meeting her eyes. The children called her the River Bride. The bishop called her a temptation sent by the devil. And though no one saw her do harm, her silence became an accusation, her solitude a curse, her beauty a crime. Still she endured. The seasons turned, the Rhine rose and fell. Laura wandered the woods alone, speaking only to birds and beasts. The villagers learned to avert their gaze, but their stories grew bolder. Some said she could charm wolves. Others claimed she drank moonlight. The more they feared her, the more they watched her, and the more their sons dreamed of her. Among those who watched from afar, whose curiosity grew into obsession, was Sir Kuno, a knight of polished steel and cold ambitions. He was not the first, nor the last, to believe that he alone could possess what no one else could hold. His father owned vineyards, riverboats, and a title bought with old gold and quiet threats. His bride-to-be was a countess with clever hands and cold eyes. But Kuno was young and restless. He rode fast, fought clean, and believed himself invincible. He first saw Laura as she knelt by the water, combing her hair with a silver comb. Her reflection shimmered on the surface. She did not look up, but Kuno felt something shift inside him. He returned the next day, and the next. He brought gifts, wine, falcons, pearls. He spoke of his lands, his titles, his future. She accepted none of it. "You are betrothed," she said at last, "to a woman I do not love. And you would cast her aside for a voice and a face?" He said yes. She said nothing. Kuno grew feverish. He spoke Laura's name in his sleep. His men grew wary. His bride grew silent. Once, the Countess came to see him unannounced, her gloves stained with ink from the letters he'd ignored. "Is she worth this?" she asked. Kuno said nothing. On the 7th night, he climbed to Laura's cottage, alone this time, cloak wet with rain. Thunder rolled in the distance. "Do you love me?" he asked. Laura looked at him for a long time. "You don't love me," she said. "You love the idea of me. And ideas are light things. They drift. They drown." Still, he pressed. He swore he would marry her, name her lady of his house, build her a chapel by the river. Laura stood quiet a long while. Then she nodded once. "Come at dawn," she said, "but come alone." He did not come alone. Whether out of fear or pride, Kuno brought 3 men with him, guards with swords drawn. He found her by the water's edge, pale in the early light, her hair loose down her back. A swan drifted nearby, silent. When she saw the men, she did not run. She only looked at Kuno. "You lied," she said. "It was for your safety," he said. "You feared the whispers, the witch, the river maid. You didn't come to love me. You came to tame me." "I came to save you." "I don't need saving." Sir Kuno stepped forward. She stepped back. And the moment his boot hit the riverbank, the earth beneath him crumbled. Some say the water took him. Others say Laura called it to her. Either way, the knight vanished beneath the surface, his silver helm flashing once, then gone. The guards fled. Laura stood on the bank, silent as a stone. A wind rose, lifting her hair like threads of gold. The water rippled outwards, disturbed only by falling leaves, and a hush fell over the trees. Later that week, the Countess appeared before the bishop. She demanded justice. The maiden had bewitched him, she claimed. She lured him to his death. The bishop, fearing the noble houses, declared Laura guilty of sorcery. She was to be taken to a nunnery and locked away for life. But the guards who came for her found the cottage empty. No Laura, no hound, no footprints in the dirt. Only a silver comb lying by the river's edge. That would have been the end of it, if not for what came after. Fishermen began to vanish. Barges crashed against the rocks. Young men jumped from the deck as if entranced, chasing something no one else could see. When asked what happened, the survivors all told the same tale. "We heard her," they said, "up on the cliff. She was singing." The bishop ordered prayers, the villagers lit candles, but the river grew no calmer. Rumors spread faster than flames. Sailors began tying rope around themselves before passing the cliffs. Mothers burned bundles of sage. No one lingered after dusk. Now, if you go to the Lorelei rock, you may still hear the song. It comes with the mist just after sundown, as the boats creak and the trees hush. Some say it's a warning. Others say it's longing. They say she still sits there, high above the river, combing her hair, watching. Not for lovers, not for vengeance, but for one soul who will not try to own her. One soul who listens not to the beauty of her voice, but to the grief behind it. And until that soul comes, she sings. She sings. She sings.